Good morning, children. Let's continue with the chapter. So, in the last period, I told you what is habitat. So, let's continue from there only. So, a place where organisms live is called habitat. Habitat means a dwelling place, that is a home. The habitat provides food, water, shelter, air, and other needs to organisms. Several kinds of plants and animals live in the same habitat. The plants and animals that live on land are said to live in terrestrial habitat. Children, please underline the plants and animals that live on land are said to live in terrestrial habitat. So those plants and animals that are living on the land are called terrestrial habitats. Okay. Some examples of terrestrial habitats are, please underline, forest, grassland, desert, coastal and mountain regions. Okay. On the other hand, the habitats of plants and animals that live in water are called aquatic habitats. Okay. The plants and animals that live in water are called aquatic habitats. So lakes, river and oceans are some examples of aquatic habitats. There are large variations among terrestrial habitats like forest, grassland, desert, coastal and mountain regions located in different parts of the world. The organisms, both plants and animals, living in habitat are called biotic components. Okay? The organisms, both plants and animals, living in a habitat are called biotic components. The non-living things such as rocks, soil, air and water in the habitat constitute its abiotic components. Okay, children? So what are biotic components? Biotic components are living organisms. Okay, all the living organisms are called biotic components and all the non-living organisms are called abiotic components. We know that some plants grow from seeds. So let us look at some biotic factors and their effect on seeds as they grow into the young plants. Abiotic factors. Okay. So how abiotic factors affect the biotic components? So, activity number 2, recall activity 5 in chapter 1. We made sprouts from moong and chana seeds. When the seed turned into a sprout, it is said to have germinated. Okay? So, when you see that white structure coming out of the seed, it means your seed has been germinated. This is the beginning of life of a new plant. Collect some dry moong seeds, keep 20 to 30 seeds aside and soak the rest. Now here you have to be careful. What are they saying? That you have to be doing this. Okay, children, you have to do this activity. You have to collect 20 to 30 seeds aside. Okay. Then soak the rest. You have to keep 20 to 30 aside and soak the rest in the water for a day. Now, divide the soaked seeds into 4 parts. So, you have kept 20 to 30 seeds aside and rest seeds are being soaked. Now, from the soaked seeds, all the soaked seeds should be divided into 4 parts. Keep one part completely submerged in water for 3-4 days. Do not disturb the dry seed and those submerged in water. Okay. So we have some seeds which are dry they are not even soaked, and some seeds which are soaked and they are completely submerged in water. Keep one part of the soaked seeds in a sunny room where sunlight is coming, and another in a completely dark region like a cupboard that does not allow any light to come in. Now keep the last part in a very cold surrounding, say in the refrigerator or with ice around them. Rinse them and replace the water every day. Okay, what do you notice? After a few days, do the seeds in all the 5 conditions germinate uniformly? Okay, so you have to see all the 5 conditions. First, which is dry. Second, which is soaked and completely submerged. Third, which is kept in a sunny room. Fourth, which is kept in the cupboard. And fifth, which is kept in the fridge. Okay, so you have to see whether all of them are germinating at the same time. All of them are getting sprouted at the same time. Do you find slower or no germination in any of the seeds? So you have to check the dry seeds, you have to check the submerged seed, you have to check the seeds which are in sunny room, and the other one which are in cupboard, and another one, the last one, fifth one, which is in the refrigerator. Are all the seeds germinating? Are all of them germinating at the same time? Are all of them really germinating, or some of them are not germinating? Is it like that? That you have to check, children. Okay. Do you realize that abiotic factors, now here it is very important factor, abiotic factors are very important for the biotic components. Plants, when it gets sprouted, it becomes a living being, living thing. How abiotic factors are affecting them? So what are the abiotic factors? Like air, water, light, heat are important for the growth of the plant. In fact, abiotic factors are important for all living organisms. We find that organisms exist in very cold as well as very hot climates, isn't it? So how do they manage to survive? Adaptation is the method, okay? Adaptation is the method by which organisms get well adjusted to the climate. Okay, children? They get well adjusted to the climate. So here I have told you about the adaptation, but here there is another term called acclimatization. So what is acclimatization? There are some changes that can happen in an organism over a short period of time to help them adjust to some changes in their surrounding. For instance, if we live in the plains and suddenly go to high mountain regions, if we go live in plains and suddenly go to a high mountain regions, then what happened? So we find we may experience difficulty in breathing and doing physical exercise for some days. We need to breathe faster when we are on high mountain. After some days, our body adjusts to the changed condition on the high mountains. Such small changes that take place in the body of a single organism, please underline, such small changes that take place in the body of a single organism over a short period of time to overcome small problems due to changes in the surrounding are called acclimatization. So these changes are different from the adaptation to take place over 1000 years. So adaptation takes place in 1,000 years, right? There's a permanent change in the body. But acclimatization is a temporary change in the body due to the changes in the surrounding. Okay, so to overcome the changes in the surrounding, your body adjusts for some time. Temporarily it takes some time and it gets adjusted. All right, so that is called acclimatization. So acclimatization doesn't take 1,000 years, but adaptation takes thousands of years. Okay, so adaptation does not take place in a short time, because the abiotic factor, a region, abiotic factors of the region also change very slowly. Those organisms which cannot adapt to this change dies, and only the adapted ones survive. Organisms adapt to different abiotic factors in different ways. This results in a wide variety of organisms in different habitats. Let us look at some habitats. Understood the abiotic factors and the adaptation of animals in these habitats. So children, adaptation takes thousands of years. Okay, and then if somebody is in the environment which is very harsh for them, then they have to adapt to that environment and change themselves to survive in that condition. If they do not adapt to the situation, they might not survive. So adaptation is required to survive. All right.